Hey, Saber Force fans, guess what day it is? Anybody?
I don't know. Could it be May the 4th?
It is May the 4th.
Wow.
And here we are in sunny wherever we are.
Yep.
And we decided today we wanted to do a table talk about our own personal nostalgia with Star Wars. So some of us who had access to our toys brought some things to share and share some stories about what we remember, like kind of our earliest memories and certain things that we have. Is R2 joining us currently?
He's going to try.
He's got to get, there he goes.
He's not tall enough. There we go. There he is.
Okay, well, I'll raise you. Darth Vader. Woo!
Nobody's cuter. Okay, I think he's like, there he is.
Dirk, you're our resident historian usually. What is your earliest memory of Star Wars?
Okay, so my earliest recollection is that was really the first movie that I saw with especially my dad in the movie theater ever. And being from a small town, we had a movie theater, but it was like a two theater setup. They only had 2 movies running. And it did come to my town. However, at the time, my parents thought I was too young to see a movie, so they wouldn't take me. So I was dying. Star Wars, you hear all about it, you're a kid, the buzz is everywhere about this movie, right? And I keep begging my parents, please take me to see this movie. And they're like, a movie about war? No, you're not going to see a movie about war. No war movies. And so it took until the next summer when it was basically, it was still running. But it was, most everybody had seen it by then. So, I had seen a lot of the trailers and the clips and the stuff that my friends were telling me about it. And we were on vacation, and I want to say somewhere in like Tennessee or something. I can't really remember for sure. The next year, this would have been about 1978. And I finally talked my dad. We were out running around because we had a camper and we pulled a car behind it. And we were out running around doing errands. I'm like, Dad, look, Star Wars is still playing in this theater here, and it starts, late, a little bit later, not very much later, like a half hour. And so he's like, okay. So, I think now, thinking back on it now, I think he maybe wanted to like take a break from the family too and just go see a movie and get an escape, that kind of stuff. So it's like I talked him into it. So that's what we did. We just, on the spur of the moment, basically, went in, got our tickets, sat down to the theater, and, the rest was just embroiled into Dirk's brain forever with what he saw that day. And the one side note I will tell you is that I can't say for sure, because everything I've seen later has said that there was a scene that was with Luke and Biggs before Biggs left to go to the academy. And I swear that scene was in the movie that I saw. The version of the movie I saw, there was this exchange between Luke and Biggs hanging out, talking before he left. But then every other version I've seen since then, there's been no Biggs in there at all, except for at the end, where he's there with Luke fighting against the Death Star.
That's a mystery.
But it is a mystery. So, but I think that it was in there, and then it was in the theatrical release, the original one, and then they took it out for some reason. Maybe the movie ran too long and they figured they needed to cut it. I don't know.
Maybe you guys in like YouTube land can actually tell us, in the original movie, was it there or wasn't it? Because, since then it's disappeared.
Yeah, it has. I mean, you see it in the outtakes that you can see on, YouTube and places like that you can see all those deleted scenes. But, I mean, I have this recollection in my head that I know I saw that in the theater when I saw it the first time. So that's really my sticking thing. That's really the thing I remember the most about the movie is that for some reason that scene was gone, and I never saw it again until decades later when they started releasing those outtakes on YouTube, and I saw it again. I'm like, I know I saw this in the theater.
So
that's my story.
I wonder, Dirk, if so I have.
Oh, I had that.
Did you?
And show them the page because it's got. I was trying to find that book. I couldn't find it, and there's a still photo of Luke and Biggs in the thing. Find it.
I was going to ask you. I think it is in here.
It is in there.
So while I'm searching through the book real quick to see if I can find it, maybe Sola can entertain you with her book she's flipping through over there. While I'm looking through this one.
Ooh, you had one with the tape. I had one with the
45 record.
Yeah, mine's a tape. And what got me into it was, actually I didn't go see the movie in '77, but I was into the hype. Like, I love the music, and I think that's part of it was the music was actually played, the soundtrack was actually played on the radio. And I was fascinated because I think didn't it actually have like the sound effects and stuff on it too in some parts of it something. Yeah, but I was fascinated. I mean, they had TV commercials for it and all that stuff, but I was completely fascinated with like how like the awe of it and like because there was just such hype going on with news and stuff like that. So like I had this book. And, well, maybe not this book, but something similar to this. And then I got this toy. Like, and my parents paid $5 for this toy, which is pretty expensive. And my grandfather pretty much had a conniption. They would pay so much money for this stupid little plastic toy.
That was my first Star Wars figure also.
Was it? Yeah.
R2-D2.
R2-D2. And then I had this on my wall. Like, let me get it out. This is the poster that I went to sleep every night, and it was up on my wall. And I think I got it from Scholastic or something. This poster.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wow. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, the Scholastic posters. Yeah, those are real big.
Yeah. And like I could not not having seen the movie, I was like, well, what's that thing? And this is cool. And I would just study like the art of it and think how cool it was and everything. And then when I got older again, the music just was like so fascinating to me. I got this. It's so nice. Like this music was like the thing that really drew me into Star Wars. And then when I finally got to see the Star Wars movie in the theater, and it was just the best thing I had ever seen. Like everything about it was just as good as I thought it would be when I went to see it. And I fell in love with the music, and I fell in love with the art, and played, what's the name of the song? The Imperial March over and over and over again. I had the Imperial March memorized because I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. But then, later on, I would get this. I have like one thing from each movie. I have R2 from the first one. I have this one from Empire. And then I have this from Return of the Jedi. Yes, that guy. And then, years later when it finally came out again, I got this one. So like it's every year I would just get a new one whenever the new stuff would come out. And that's my backstory with Star Wars.
One side note on the album, I was able to purchase, before I saw the movie the first time, my parents let me buy the soundtrack to the first Star Wars movie, the John Williams soundtrack.
Yeah.
So I played that, like you said, like you did, over and over. So I was trying to imagine what the movie would be like when I saw it with this music. And it was, the music is amazing on its own, really. So now, we found in the archive here, this is the scene that I think was in the movie the first time I saw it with Luke and Biggs, and this is what I remember, is them outside talking on this ledge, and they had an interaction with Luke and Biggs here about, hey, don't worry, you'll be joining me soon, or something like that, But this is the one.
I've seen it in outtakes, but I don't remember it.
So, this book actually is actually one of those scholastic books. And I was not able to go see the movies as a kid. The first one I saw was Return of the Jedi. So I actually enjoyed Star Wars through this book that I got through Scholastic, and my mom thought I was like weird, like, why do you want that book? But I had a friend that used to come over and play all the time, and his name was Ben, by the way. And guess who he always wanted to be?
Ben Kenobi.
Exactly, Ben Kenobi. And so I always had to be like either Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker. Well, at least those are the ones I like to play. Sometimes he made me play Leia, and I didn't like that at all. So I had to envision the whole movie through this book because I wasn't able to see. it. My parents just weren't moviegoers. And then my brother ended up getting me this like R2 necklace. Now the necklace is not the necklace that originally came with it, but this is the original one that quite a few people had back in the day. And it was really like my first Star Wars like toy, I guess, because I used to play with it like a toy even though it was a necklace. And then for a long time, I kind of forgot about Star Wars.
What?
I did. I'm sorry. School happened. And then I started college, and all of a sudden, my brother comes over my house and he's like, oh my gosh, there's a new release of Star Wars books. So the first time since Return of the Jedi, there were some brand new stories. And so this is the first Star Wars book that I read. And I want to say that I've read probably 25 or 30 books. I'm about 30 years past Return of the Jedi at this point. But this was like that first book that he encouraged me with Star Wars all over again. And then because I wasn't living with my parents anymore, I was able to start buying Star Wars toys because now I could buy things on my own and they weren't for boys anymore. Because that was the big thing with my parents is, those are boys' toys. So I wasn't allowed to have any of them. So this was the first one I bought, and I believe I bought it in 1996. Wow. So it's my Darth Vader. And it's still in the box.
R2 is cuter.
That's right.
But he's probably worth more.
He probably is, no doubt.
So Sakor, you've been very quiet.
I have been very quiet.
What is your backstory with Star Wars?
Oh boy. Well, I was born the generation after, and I was born through the prequel trilogy.
Oh.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Which wasn't totally horrible.
Right now, it wasn't that bad. But my first Star Wars movie was Attack of the Clones.
Which, by the way, we'll be reviewing tomorrow.
Yes, for those of you that don't know, Attack of the Clones is the second movie in the prequel trilogy. And as a little kid, I had no idea what was going on. And I ended up not liking it. I ended up hating Star Wars for quite a while, yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't until way later in my early teens when I first saw A New Hope was when, I really fell in love with it, and I was able to appreciate it for what it was at the time. As a little kid, Attack of the Clones didn't make any sense to me. There's a lot of politics going on.
Yeah.
Lots of CG.
Who encouraged you to watch A New Hope after all that time?
My uncle.
Oh, okay.
My uncle's a huge Star Wars fan, so he just lent me his VHSs, and I was able to watch it.
VHSs.
Yep.
Shout out to Sakor's uncle. Good job.
And after that, I just absolutely fell in love with it, and Star Wars became a huge part of my life. I love it to death, and I will continue to love it to death.
Me too.
Me for.
So, tomorrow we are planning on reviewing Attack of the Clones, and I hope you will join us. In the meantime, in the comments below, why don't you share your oldest memory of Star Wars, or your memory of like why you like it so much, your own nostalgia? Poor R2.
I think R2 should.
Oh, R2,
R2 should do what?
you've done it
I
again.
think R2 should say goodbye to the.
Yeah, R2
Yeah,
should
with goodbye to our
close us out.
fans.
Oh my god, R2 keeps falling
This is
over.
third leg.
Don't forget to like and subscribe though, just in case RG forgets to tell you.
Beep, 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 beep. Like and subscribe.